This is KGW News at Sunrise.
30 years living in this neighborhood or doing business, have I ever seen Kenton undergo or see what it's doing now.
Some North Portland residents say it's time for the city to step up and do something about the violence and the crime they're dealing with.
Then we'll find out what's next for some prominent Portland statues that were torn down during last year's protests.
Plus, we're seeing fall colors pop up all over the area. But here's the deal. If the leaves on your trees are already changing, that may actually be a sign that your trees are in trouble. We'll explain coming up here at 5:15.
Yeah, some of those leaves just look straight up dead. Okay, I want to know what's happening because, the leaves are going to be on the ground, I think, with some rain a little bit later. But hello, everybody. What do you know? You've got your sunny tie on. Is that an omen?
No,
I'm sending mixed messages
starting a
today.
new trend. I'm going to start dressing opposite of the weather. Starting today. All right, here we go. Cloudy skies out there this morning. We've had a few showers last night, mainly the north coast and areas near and north of Portland. And you can see right now that's where the bulk of all this rain is. Here's the radar. Good morning, Clark County. You've had some rain, in fact, raining lightly right now up in Battleground. There are a few showers down toward Gladstone along 205 there, as well as Storia Longview picking up just a touch of rain. So clearly we have some scattered showers out there. Now, with that said, at the bus stop, we're going to have more dry bus stop weather than wet. But by the time we get to the noon hour, then the rain overall really starts to pick up for all of us. 66 degrees. When the kids get out of school, there will be a cold front coming through, rainy areas around, and also maybe some hefty downpours at that time as well. Again, opposite of my yellow.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, busy day ahead, Rod. Thank you. Well, unfortunately, we start this morning with more gun violence overnight, including a deadly shooting in the North Tabor neighborhood. This was the scene last night near Northeast 60th and Davis. Police say that shooter stayed at the scene, but they haven't released any information about the man who died or what led up to the shooting. This is just one of 3 shootings in the city last night. This one at MLK and Jessup, where one person was hurt but is expected to survive. A third was reported at 74th and Herald in Southeast Portland. We'll keep you updated as soon as we learn more.
Meanwhile, there are safety concerns in the Kenton neighborhood. That's where a homicide and 2 armed robberies happened over the course of just a week and a half. Those 2 armed robberies hit the same business, the Kenton Club. They tell us early last week 2 men with guns robbed a bartender. What you're looking at here is security footage of the holdup. Then there was a second armed robbery this week, and it was also caught on camera. These are not isolated incidents. Just a day before the first robbery, a man was shot and killed at Kenton Park.
30 years living in this neighborhood or doing business, have I ever seen Kenton undergo or see what it's doing now.
We also spoke with the president of the Kenton Business Association. She says the neighborhood needs help from the city. In addition to more patrol officers, she says new lighting and cameras in the area would go a long way to help.
Well, lots of neighborhoods dealing with an increase in crime. We told you yesterday how people who work in Portland's Old Town area have been attacked and threatened by transients.
Also yesterday, the city voted to renew its contract with a security and cleanup company that's designed to improve downtown safety, but there are some people who aren't happy with the way the company goes about its work. KGW's Catherine Cook explains.
You see the logos and maybe the crews out working, but what does Downtown Portland Clean and Safe do? Last year, they collected 73,000 bags of trash, picked up 47,000 needles, and removed 40,000 graffiti tags downtown. They also provided basic public safety services with armed security guards. On Wednesday, Portland City Council voted to renew its security and sanitation contract with Downtown Portland Clean and Safe for 5 more years at about $25 million.
If we want to recover, frankly, we have to address this basic service gap that Portland faces right now. And Clean and Safe is one strategy for doing that.
Commissioner Mingus Mapps was one of City Council's 3 yes votes. He hopes it brings downtown one step closer to economic recovery.
But the reason now isn't because of COVID. People are avoiding Portland at this point because it is perceived to be a dirty city and a dangerous city. That's why it is incredibly important that we support programs like Clean and Safe.
The only commissioner to vote no on the 5-year contract was Joanne Hardesty. She proposed a 1-year contract.
There's this false image that somehow if we just pick up garbage and remove graffiti, then downtown is going to look like it did 3 years ago.
Hardesty says her main concern with Clean and Safe isn't the cleanup part, but rather that it's part of an enhanced service district. Those are areas that use both public and private funding to maintain. She's worried about lack of oversight regarding ESDs and believes the city needs a policy standardizing the services they can provide. She also questions their priorities.
We're going to clean up downtown, but I don't know if you've noticed, there's not a corner of the city of Portland that doesn't have garbage. So clearly garbage cleanup is a symptom of a bigger problem. And a bigger problem is our neglect of people on the economic edge.
I don't think that we have to do all or nothing. And I tell you, it's unacceptable to me to do nothing.
But with that, Maps says he recognizes the importance of debating enhanced service districts and how future city policies could and should shape them.
We've built some flexibility into this contract so that when the council decides what the future of enhanced service districts look like, we can come back and revise that contract.
I'm going to hold my colleagues to their word. They want to do better. I'm going to hold them to that. I hope they do.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
It looks like the statues torn down in Portland during the protests last year won't be returning to the same spots. The Regional Arts and Culture Council doesn't recommend it. The council is in charge of placing and maintaining public art in Portland. That includes statues of Presidents Lincoln and Roosevelt downtown. They'll still be part of the city's public collection and may eventually be displayed somewhere else.
Well, today is the last day you'll see any of those thin plastic bags at grocery stores in Washington because a statewide ban on those bags begins tomorrow. The ban targets what are considered single-use plastic bags, and not just the ones found at grocery store checkout stands. We also see them used a lot for takeout at restaurants. Washington's Department of Ecology says using your own reusable bags is the best choice at this point, but stores in the state will have paper or heavy-duty reusable plastic bags that you can also get for 8 cents a piece.
It will take some getting used to. We don't expect everyone to love it immediately, but I think waste reduction is something we can all get behind, and I think we would all like to see less of these bags littering our environment.
One more note on this story before we ask you all a question. Anyone that shows proof of being on a food assistance program will not have to pay that 8-cent bag fee. You can read more details about the single-use plastic bag ban in Washington on our website, kgw.com. So here is the question for everyone this morning. It's our poll question on Sunrise. When you go to the grocery store, are you still using bags from the store, or do you bring your own? So far, we've heard from 58% of our viewers who say they're bringing their own. Obviously, the other half would be 42%. 42% say they're still using store bags, but there is still plenty of time to weigh in. You can find this poll pinned to the top of our KGW Sunrise Twitter page. We'll keep it up there, and we'll check in on your responses throughout the morning.
Bring your own all the way. All right. The recent fall showers and cooler weather has led to Multnomah County lifting its burn ban. So that means campfires and fire pits can return, while yard burning can happen on approved days in certain areas. If you do want to take advantage of this, county and fire officials urge you to check with your local fire station before burning.
The drought is impacting a lot of communities here in Oregon, but it's also revealing some hidden history. For instance,
that everybody should be aware that there's not just a reservoir there. There was actually a thriving ranching environment there. Most of this is gone. All that's left is the, as you see in the this one, it's mostly all it is are the abutments that come up to it.
So he's talking about a pioneer settlement in Prineville back in the 1800s. They can see some of these things because the reservoir is low. It's only 21% full. And that's why structures that are out right now are normally underwater, you know, in a regular year. But isn't that cool stuff? I mean, Prineville has such rich history.
Climate change is a topic we continue to focus in on, and one of the angles we're covering is the impact climate change is having on endangered species. So this story we're about to share this morning comes out of Florida, and it's actually a piece of good news for the American crocodile. Scientists say a nuclear power plant in Florida that was built in the late 1970s is actually helping the crocodiles there. When it was built 40+ years ago, there were only a few hundred American crocodiles left. And during the plant's construction, workers built a series of waterways specifically designed to cool the plant. But that design also created 10 square miles of long, skinny islands, which became a prime breeding ground for those crocodiles.
When did you realize that one could actually benefit the other? The power plant could actually benefit the crocodiles?
So this actually happened by accident. The start of the program was in 1978 after the accidental discovery of a crocodile nest.
And that's a happy accident?
That's a happy accident, that's right.
Happy accident, pretty incredible story of survival, you might say. The Today Show will have more on this for us later this morning, starting at 7 a.m. We would have run the entire story right here and right now, but Rod Hill said, you know what, I need my point to speak in this show. So Rod, your time is now.
I should point out, in other parts of the country, the story would be, we got gators, get those things out of here. But in Florida, it's cool. All right, here we go. We have rainy areas mainly north of Portland up towards Seattle. We have a little bit of light rain here in the metro. Again, driving along 205 this morning, getting down toward Happy Valley, there's a touch of rain. And then also when you move up north of Portland, Delta Park area, up into Vancouver, there's some light rain falling as well. So there are light showers out there right now. With that said, the main event will come this afternoon when a cold front arrives. So here we are at 12:30. Now rain's starting to pick up and get these bands of rain. The heftier band is this one that will come in with what's timed to be a mid-afternoon front. And there could be some heavy downpours with that as well. So kind of a scattered or shower morning with mostly light stuff around, and then the rain picks up once we get into the afternoon. And then this evening, here we are, 8 o'clock, the rain chance quickly ends. And then we go on that dry run. Tomorrow's dry, Saturday's dry, Sunday for your weekend plans dry as well. How much are we talking today? Notice on this map, lesser amounts to the south, higher numbers to the north. This shows that story in Kelso, 35 100s today, Portland 21 100s, and Salem picking up maybe just over 1/10 of an inch of total rainfall. We have clouds, 58 in Kelso, 61 in Portland, Salem 57, clouds at the coast, and then some clear spots out east, Burns and Baker City, in fact, in the 20s to start the day. So we will be in the 60s today, morning showers, increasing rain this afternoon. We talked about less rain down towards Salem and more rain up toward the north. Longview only about 60. Wednesday generally 5 to 15. Southeast veering to the west, northwest today. Then tomorrow, morning fog to sun, 70. The weekend 70s, mostly sunny to partly sunny skies. Next run of rain starts Tuesday of next week, and that's your forecast.
All right, Rod, thank you so much. Well, it is fall and the leaves are changing already, but some experts are warning about trees that are losing their leaves too fast. Might actually be stressed from the weather this past year. Plus, many people questioning the cause of America's blood donation shortage. Our Verified team looks at the reasons behind it after the break.